Hi everyone, it's Natalie here, and Henry. Boo Boo, is you gonna say hi? There he is. It's his gotcha day. It's Friday the 13th. Although this probably won't get uploaded until like Saturday the 14th or something. But anyhow, there's Henry. And yeah, 2 years ago today, he came home. Yeah. He's so happy. So we had to go and get treats and toys and a couple of little things at dog friendly places and just had a nice little outing. So, and now we're back and he wants more snuggles. So, and I also went and got my hair cut this morning. So we now have much shorter hair seemingly. And you'll have noticed it's really curly. So I don't know what to say about the curls. Other than just that, yeah, it seemed it started to grow back in curly after kind of falling out off and on for the better part of a year, probably. I never had COVID that I'm aware of. If I had it, I was never aware that I had it. It was not something that I didn't really get sick ever, except had like a minor cold type thing earlier in the year, but the hair loss happened way before that. So, and then it started coming in both during and after that cold. So it may just have been a cold. I don't know. But if I had the kind of like COVID hair loss kind of thing going on, that had to have happened quite a while ago. I actually attribute it to stress because when I'm stressed, I will get like thinning hair, and honestly, and it's like the worst of it is coming, it's like from about here upward, it's actually at its normal thickness, but it came in, and as it's come in really curly. And so while it was really straggly, and it was down to my waist in the back, and it looked really straggly. I looked horrible. I looked really bad. And the straggliness of it meant that I was mostly just putting it up and not wearing it down ever. And because of my schedule and because of when my hairdresser's available and that kind of thing, I was struggling to even get in to like see her to get it taken care of because, well, you know how that can go, right? It just wasn't, she didn't have hours when I could get in. And it was a lot. It was a lot. For a while there, I was spending weekends doing heavy lifting at my mom and dad's old house. And then going and spending days in the hospital with my godmother. And it was a mess. And hair became like the last thing I really had time to deal with. But while that was going on, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel comfortable even doing camera because I just felt like a mess. So it's nice to be on camera. It's nice to be seen and to say hi and not feel like it's a total disaster going on. But that's not why I'm here. I came on today because, not because of Henry or because of hair, but because actually, I've been trying to think about what decks I want to use for the Drop 'em 78. So I thought I would use this as like hey, these are the decks I've been looking at and playing with. And then these are the kinds of decks that I've been contemplating for this challenge, right? So it's kind of a combo of different types of things all in one place. So yeah, I've been thinking about doing a lot of different decks. And I still haven't settled. It starts on Sunday, on the 15th, and I'm kind of still up in the air. I guess I could talk about like what decks I've thought about using for the challenge and maybe and why. And I will say I feel some days I'm like, oh, I'm just going to do this. That just makes the most sense. Why wouldn't I just do that? And then I end up not doing it. By the way, if you've never used a makeup bag that's of course never been used for makeup, like this, that's kind of square shaped to store and carry tarot decks with you places so that they're kind of contained and a little bit safer. Like you can just wrap them up and pop them in there. I had 2 decks and a spread cloth, like a tablecloth, like all tucked in there. It's a really good idea. Highly recommended. like $5 at Marshall's or something, and it's perfect. I could just toss it in my basket or my backpack and it's with me. So one of the decks, of course, I don't think anyone's going to find this to be a surprise, that I really considered playing with is the Serpent and the Peacock, because I mean, who doesn't want to look at medieval craziness? I don't. I have to look at medieval craziness right now. I don't know what that's about. I think it is the feeding your demons thing. I think it is the sort of like confronting the shadow head on and dancing with it kind of thing, which is really what I've been doing for the last year. Somebody said to me recently, wow, you've been through so much, you know, I'm so sorry. And I stopped and I just thought about it for a second. I said, I'm not. It's one of the hardest. I mean, it's hard on a different level than the years preceding it, which also felt hard. But there was something about the way that this one was able to be engaged that just felt maybe cathartic, or maybe like I had a real opportunity to confront some things and resolve them in ways that I've never been able to. I think that's probably more like it. So there's all of that. But yeah, and there's something about working with this one that just feels right because of that, I think. I don't know. So there's this one. I love it. It has been such a treat. It's not a big sniffy deck, but anyway, I love it anyway, even though it's not a big sniffy deck. So there's that one. And of course, I've had to bring out the Hieronymus Bosch lately again because, and I know I can't use this one for the Tarot Challenge, like as the challenge deck, but I could calibrate with it. Not what I want to do. But yeah, I've just been enjoying this one anew, and kind of going back and revisiting a lot of the things about it that are just, I mean, you know, utterly insane is probably the word that comes to me. But it's just such a, I don't know, it's just such a joy. It's such a playful deck. And it's just so much fun to engage. So there's that. Yeah, those are ones I've been revisiting. I feel like I need to put this one away. I guess I'll wrap it back up. I had it in an old wrap cloth because I didn't want to bring it in the box to a client reading. So there's that. Let's see. I have been thinking, of course, too, about the Lonely Dreamer Tarot. Had some really beautiful experiences lately, too, I should say, with Esther's method of deck dialogue. I think I'm doing it a little differently than she does, but I don't think it matters. I think what matters is like the quality of connection and the way that you're engaging the deck. You know, like asking a question, really engaging with the deck, getting an answer, you know, making sure, clarifying, talking back, like, are you saying this and does it mean this? Or you know, I feel like that's maybe what the message is here. Drawing another card. It has been hands down, it's like my new favorite pastime right now is having these deck dialogues. It's just so much fun. Sorry about all the glare and the potato cam. It's not great for showing cards anymore, especially, here we go. That's maybe, is that better? No, it's just glare. There's going to be glare. Maybe that's better. It's because it's a cloudy day and I've got a lamp on. But anyway, yeah, that's Lonely Dreamer. Really beautiful deck. Not medieval. Very, very, very not medieval. But also based on artwork and just a lot of fun. So there's that one. Another one I have been contemplating quite seriously would be the Alchemical Tarot Renewed. Both the green fourth edition? Fifth edition. So I guess the 5th and 6th editions. Yeah, because I have both of those. I just couldn't resist. But, you know, either one or the other. has come up as a possibility. This one's in order because I was using it with the Buddha Tarot, and I haven't worked with it since. So, yeah. So we've got this one. It is a really stunning deck. And of course, I just love, I'm really in love with Robert in Place at the moment. Have been for a couple years, I guess, now. It just feels like an at the moment thing, but it's been a while. Anyhow, yeah, I've been contemplating this one quite seriously in this entire challenge. We'll see. I haven't really done a dialogue with it, and when I thought about doing this one, it was like, well, you know, do I want to do that one? Because, okay, so here's what I was thinking. Because I feel like almost all of his decks, except that I have, except maybe the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery, all kind of work together. They all kind of fit. So as I've been getting really interested in working with this Grimaud 1930 Tarot de Marseille, which is the facsimile deck. Oh, that's right. I had a reading with these. Okay. This one I've just had lots of readings and dialogues with because I've been really, really enjoying working with this one. I thought about calibrating it with and just getting to know the Tarot de Marseille again, like really much more intimately, specifically this deck. And the deck that I was looking at as a calibration is, is Robert in Place's Alchemical Tarot de Marseille, which really is not really a Marseille. I mean, it is and it isn't, in the way that, oh, it smells so good, in the way that so many of his are not. This one I put back in order the other night watching TV, because the experience of doing that sometimes is very satisfying. But it also makes you look at the cards differently. Each of the majors has has a little like poem or phrase or kind of, you know, a couple of lines that are descriptive of his approach to the cards. You know, along with the alchemical symbols and so on and so forth. Let's jump ahead. We'll get to the end of the majors. That's a good death card. I always love looking at the death cards. Definitely has his take on it, but you can see that he's a historian, right? I feel like every time I look at his decks, knowing his background with tarot, I have a greater and greater sense of the choices he makes and why, right? And I know there is a like lovers shown like this on the sun in another historical deck I was just looking at the other day. But yeah, I kind of completely love that about it, about his work. And I feel like he brings that to everything he does. But like you can see with the swords, we're getting much more of, it's really not, it's not tedium. He's working from a different system. Again, my brain is kind of on fart mode, and I cannot remember. It's not Tarot Paris. No, it's not. It's a later deck, but anyway, it's not tedium. And neither are really not the coins either. But again, he's working in the way that he does with pips, right? So he's calling it what is it? He's calling this a Tarot de Marseille, Alchemical Tarot de Marseille, but there's really not much about it. This reminds me of the, brain's just going to fart it out. I don't work with any of the historical decks that I am thinking of. I just enjoy admiring them and looking at them online and contemplating getting copies of them and then not. At any rate, it doesn't follow, it's not following Tarot de Marseille, is it? Which is kind of perfect and doesn't throw me off in the slightest because I know what his system is when he's working with alchemical tarot. And it's just a matter of like which one do I want to work with, right? Which of those would I want to spend that time with, right? Not really what I wanted to do, right? So I thought about this and I just thought, well, then why wouldn't I calibrate? Why would I choose this one, say, over the Buddha Tarot, right? Which is ultimately following the same system, but it's coming from a more Buddhist, oh, that's the wrong deck. I was about to put it in this one. But from a much more Buddhist perspective. I spent the day at the computer today, doing the most mind-numbing, like financial paperwork, lots of filling forms, and oh my god, it was just mind-numbing. My brain is just toast. No regrets. It was all stuff that needed to be done. But you know when you're just kind of over that and you didn't want to spend your day off doing those things. Had so few days off in the last year that just having any time off is like gleeful right now. Or should I say any, time off, i.e. unpaid time where I'm not needed urgently because there's not something urgent going on. It's really nice. Because that situation's been going on for over a year now, and I'm done. I mean, I can carry on and pick it up and keep going, or I could just kind of chill, for a minute. So yeah, so those are the ones. Where's my Buddha Tarot? It's in here. Yeah, so I've also thought about using the Buddha Tarot. I really want to use this one. I want to use the new one. I don't know why. I just like it. I know it's got bad cardstock and everything, and I still need to fix this guy. My 5 of Lotuses just has to be fixed, but I still haven't done it. I don't know. I just don't know quite how to fix it, and I never heard anything back from Schiffer. And I just feel awkward about contacting them out of the blue after over a year and just being like, hey, I never heard back from anybody, but I don't know. It just feels kind of weird. I keep thinking I'll get in touch with them and then I don't. But anyway, I'm still thinking I want to work with this version of it. And I want to use it. I've been thinking about using this one both as the calibration deck and as the challenge deck because there's still so much for me to learn about this deck. So I thought about using the this Tarot de Marseille with the Buddha Tarot, right? So using this one and calibrating with this one. Let's see, what other combos did I contemplate? I contemplated, I don't know why I wrapped. I'm going to be pulling these decks back out and flipping them through, but I contemplated these two together, Serpent and the Peacock with the Buddha Tarot, right? Just, that would be an interesting one, right? And I toyed with like this one as the calibration deck for this one, or this one as the calibration deck for this one, which kind of almost doesn't matter because either way you're going to be deep diving both decks, right? I mean, I know it matters, but it kind of also, I think it just depends on which, like how you want that dialogue to go. So for that matter, I also contemplated the Buddha Tarot with, where is she? She's in her drawer. Of course, I wouldn't use this copy of it, but that doesn't really matter for right now with the Marielle. Like calibrating, calibration deck, stretch deck, right? Which, I mean, that could be, I think that would be a lot of, it would be deep. It would be deep. It would be deep. It would be very supportive. Kind of like how that feels in a way. I might have to contemplate that one further. Maybe I should get out this is my, reading deck for when I'm reading for people. But I've got, oh, sorry, boo, you don't have to get up. I've also got, I can't get over how short my hair is. I guess too, when it curls, it like shrinks. I'm Trinley. There's been a lot of like claw, reach out and touch someone going on back here, like this. Trini, are you saying hi? No, now you're interested in something else. No, now you're going to say hi. You the cutest. You mommy's little sweet. He's so cute. It's outrageous how cute he is. And so he unfortunately keeps getting rewarded for reaching out and touching like that. Because I can't, it's hard to resist him. He's just so cute. Anyway, this is what I've been unwrapping here. This is my trimmed copy of the first edition of the Marielle, which thank you, hi. Yes, hello. Okay, you want more pets? More pets and loves? Yes, you're so sweet. Okay. Yeah, this kind of feels good. How does this feel? Trinley? No. No. Sweet. Thank you. God, that would be like being hugged by somebody all day, every day, but kicked in the ass at the same time. Hey now. You know what I mean? Like the two people in your life that will tell you the truth, but you know they love you and they're gonna have your best interests at heart. Darn this glossy cardstock. It's what we all hate about it. Like your two best friends, kind of. But I also kind of feel like that's not going to be a stretch, you know? Like, I know this one so well. I almost kind of know this one really well. I don't know. I just don't know. Then, let's see. This one never occurred to me, but now I'm thinking about it because it's sitting here. I had Guardian of the Night Tarot out because I had a client, well, patient, who's also a client and also kind of a friend, who I was going to read for the other day, and this person is very much into critters. And so I thought about this deck because of that, because this person is so into critters. This is a first edition. Oh, it still smells so good. I gotta be honest, I do love this because the cardstock is so buttery and yummy. But God, I love this one. That King of Pentacles, the cows on the pentacles. But it shuffles so well. But you know, the backs and the kind of matte finish on the Hay House one is so pretty as well. Yeah. Gosh, that's such a pretty deck. Maybe I should deck dialogue with it. I do really love this one. I don't use it nearly as much as I should. It feels more like a summer deck to me, but I mean, does it matter? Okay, and then here we go. So I also contemplated heavily Deviant Moon. Now you'll look at this. Look at this. Ah, you might be thinking, Natalie, I didn't know you were into the Deviant Moon. That box doesn't look like it's just been sitting on a shelf at all. And that's because it hasn't. But not because Natalie knows anything about the Deviant Moon. It's because it belonged to someone else before me. A friend brought it in 2019, long time ago, it seems like. There's the like before the pandemic, and then there's the like after the pandemic. Which is where my brain goes. And I put this deck back in order. It does shuffle so beautifully. I'm sure everybody knows this by now. I really like it. And after I watched Natalia's video, Natalia the Tarot Shrink, about what she learns about herself from this deck, it made me think, wow, what would that, sorry, you know when you get a hair or a floof, something that sticks to your lip gloss, it's really it's gross, it's awful. Anyway, yeah, it made me think I'd really like to look at that. I'd really like to look at I can't seem to figure out what I want to do here. With holding these. Somehow holding cards today is weird. That's what a retreat is like. That's what a silent retreat feels like. Ooh, that's what's going on inside your head. While you pull all that stuff out and look at it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just such a rich deck. I always wanted to kind of look at it a little more deeply, but after listening to Natalia talk about it at length, because I don't think I was able to really watch the video, I had to kind of listen to it in the car or something. It totally intrigued me. I immediately came home and pulled it out, put it back in order so I could really look at it. And then I've spent several evenings while we're like watching stuff on TV that I'm not always necessarily very interested in, just examining and looking, you know, or we'll sit together in the living room and I have my little lap desk thing out so I can play with my cards and yeah. So I don't know. I thought about possibly calibrating this one with the Buddha Tarot. Oh, I've got the Empress drop out. It looks a little bit like she's sitting on the toilet. Very interesting version of the throne, I guess. I thought about maybe calibrating it with the Siddhartha Tarot, right? Because this, I feel like I really know this one right now. And I'm still going to get back to these. I just didn't get them uploaded yet. There are several more videos that are made. But yeah, this kind of felt like a natural duo. I don't know. I've also contemplated, of course, the Tarot of the Mystic Sea, Navigator's Tarot of the Mystic Sea. The only thing with this one, though, is, not the only thing, but one of the things with this one is that the way that, and I have the book, where did it go? It was just here. Did I put it somewhere? Here it is. Oh, yes, I forgot about this one. I've got decks all over my house right now because, like, I've been pulling them out to play with. The book for this one, so good. So good. But I feel like the way that Julia Turk has organized the deck doesn't quite fit, right? Doesn't quite fit with the order that we'd be using for the Drop'em 78 because she works from 10 backwards. And I feel like I need to keep, I need to honor that. It feels worthwhile to honor her way of working with it. It also feels like it will be a big stretch. But I also feel like when I decide to go ahead and work on this deck and deep dive it, I feel like I've been calibrating with decks for a long time. I just didn't realize that that's what I was doing. But now that I have a greater sense of how to play with that, I think I probably will calibrate this one either with Thoth or with Tarot of the Spirit. I think so. And I feel like I want to give it its own thing. And I don't want to, it doesn't feel right for Drop'em 78 somehow. there any other ones that I was very seriously Oh, I did kind of contemplate this one. I did contemplate. Oh, that's why it was sticking. I didn't realize that was there. Hi, Tom. No, I'm making a video. Ooh, are these orange peels?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, dairy.
Thanks, babe. These are treats?
Yes.
Thank you.
They're not amazing, but they are orange peels.
They're different than I thought they would be. Huh. I guess I thought they'd be more sugary.
Right. That's not bad.
They're not bad. Don't know quite what to make of that. Don't put them in the sushi, yeah. Let's not put those in the sushi. I don't think it'd be good in sushi. But they're interesting. Never really had, anybody ever had that before? Not very, just unusual flavor. Anyway, I contemplated the Global Fusion Intuitive Tarot, which I've been wanting to really get more into and play with. But I think I might just play with it doing deck dialogues. Seriously, if you've not done any deck dialoguing or really watched Esther do that, it is the most delightful. God, it's so fun. And every deck has such a different personality and such a different way of communicating that you can't really get just from an introductory spread. And you know what Esther says in her video where she's talking about what is deck dialogue and, acknowledging that maybe people don't even realize that she's doing a thing, much less a very specific thing. And it's really, she makes a great point. She talks about how, like, the limiting nature of doing a tarot spread tends to kind of, it adds a level of artifice to the process of actually dialoguing with the tarot or letting the tarot speak that is just totally not there when you're doing an open reading style, or when you are working without a spread. I mean, where you're just allowing the cards as they are to talk to you. And I agree. I really feel that. I had to kind of rinse out after that orange peel. I'm not sure what I think of those. Anyway, so yeah, so there's that. Another deck that I have been really, really, really enjoying still, and I'm not think so. I think we'll move into just decks that I'm enjoying playing with, but which I don't think are going to be part of this challenge, but are worth talking about anyway. One of them would be the Midnight Magic Mushroom deck. I kind of don't even know how to talk about this. Not the deck. Mushroom deck. It's so good. It's got such a delightful sniff. But it is, how long are we going here? We've been going a while. I had an experience, probably 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, where we were dealing with people at work who had like a severe mold problem in their home. And this experience was extremely weird. I felt like I got a sense of how do I put this? Like, what was the patient's energy and consciousness versus something else that was kind of like not just interfering with the signal, but coming in with its own signal. it was not a verbal, like an easily verbalized experience, but afterwards, I don't know how to explain it. I just, what you see in the mushroom, and I'm not someone who's ever done mushrooms, right, as a psychedelic before, but I kind of don't feel like I need to. Um, there's something else at work in fungus that is not, I mean, we know, right, that the fruiting body, as she calls it in the deck, is not the actual, I mean, it's the mushroom, but the overall fungus, like the consciousness that's making space for something to come to fruition, is something different. It's something bigger and more beyond the mushroom world, more beyond it than just what you're seeing. I don't know how to explain it. It was just it was a little psychedelic, honestly, that experience with that patient. Her consciousness was definitely being altered, right, by the presence of this other consciousness that really was not bad or evil. It was just looking for a way to live, right? It just needed to find, like we all do, right? We're always just looking for, how do I find a way to live, and how do I find a way to be and do my thing and get my needs met, right? And that's what this mold consciousness was doing inside her body. And it wasn't there to screw with her or make her feel bad. It was just doing what it does, right? um but it's changed, and this kind of further opened something up working with it, or kind of dialed it in a little tighter or a little more specifically somehow. Not really deeply, but I'd say more specifically. But I've enjoyed working with it, suffice to say. um it's been a lot of fun. And what other play, what other, oh, I have another, what I got really into, oh, hi, again recently, is and this hasn't come out for a while, is the um Tarot of the She. Do I want to pull it out? Do we need to see it's a tarot channel? What am I thinking? Of course we need to pull it out. I also have a rock in here. I have a hagstone. It's the one that belongs to the deck. There it is. It's like a little donut. It's a little hagstone donut. But it's perfect for this deck. And I also have it's an Oracle of the She, maybe? It's so pretty. I love pulling these decks out at this time of year. See also why it's very hard for me to commit to just using 2 decks. I'm trying not to get too serious, like overly serious about this challenge, because I've never done it before. So I'm taking it seriously, but I don't want to be too overly, Esther's doing dozens and dozens and dozens of deck dialogues. I just don't feel the need for that right now. Oh, it smells so good. I don't know. Maybe it's just where I am. But I just don't feel the need for that. And this is a deck that could potentially, stretch. Trying to find a way to show it without it having to, be, there we go, maybe. Anyway, it's a glossy Schiffer deck. Yeah, but then what would I calibrate it with? I just don't know. It just does read beautifully, though. It just has such a unique voice. I guess I could use it to calibrate another deck, but then I'm not really sure that that's, oh, that would be so interesting. So interesting. then who would calibrate whom? I don't know, but they'd be interesting to, they'd be a good pair, don't you think? Maybe we'll make a little video and pair some of these together and just see how that goes. Just see. God, what a mess. This is such a mess. It really is. This is a big mess on my desk right now. Another one I would love to talk about. Somebody just left a message about this the other day, and I thought, wow, because her name is Lorena, maybe. The Shamanic Dream Dust Tarot, just kind of asking like, hey, I'd love to know how you got along with this deck after getting it and so forth. I love it. Oh, it smells so good. God, it smells good. It's got such a good whiff, even still. So you can kind of, this is such a potato can. You can't really make out. Maybe I need to turn on a lamp. That's probably what needs to happen here. Let's get a lamp going. Oh my goodness, this has got to close. Got one of my drawers hanging out. Is that better? Maybe a little. Let's see how that helps. If not, kind of, yeah, a little bit maybe. Yeah, there we go. That like holographic, threaded, pixelized look. It's so pretty. And so abstract. And the person was saying, like, how do you know, some of them made sense to her and some of them didn't. And they just do, to me, they just speak volumes. But with, and I don't have any issue with the text at the bottom. Like the text at the bottom of each card doesn't get in my way at all. It makes actually for a very concise reading. Because it just gives me a gentle reminder of like, remember, this is what the card is. This is what it's about. So now what are you receiving from that energy? And that's been, oh, they're so pretty. That's been such a rich experience with this deck. I seem never to tire of it. You know, you can see even more depth in this one than what meets the eye. It's really the textures and the layers that are in each of the paintings. They're really actually enhanced by the glossiness of the deck. I think some of this would be lost if it were not there. So it actually does not bother me that it's there. God, it's just beautiful. I tell you what, I was reading it with, what did I pair it with? God, it smells good. I've been pairing it a lot because of the abstract nature with the Death Doula Oracle, which I've also been loving a whole lot, like so much of late. I'm making the world's biggest mess here. This is outrageous. It is totally unorganized, and it's going to be a real stinker to clean up. So the Death Doula Oracle, if you're not familiar, uses photography. But it is another, like, it is an abstract deck. And I also, if I'm just working with the keywords and the images, I feel like I get a lot more out of it. I do feel like the author has done a beautiful job with the deck. I took it with me actually recently. We had a death over dinner event where we all sat around the table and talked about death over dinner from the time we ordered until the end of the meal, and then for dessert we could change topics. And it was so much fun, and I brought this deck so that we could have it to play with if we needed to have something to just start the conversation. There are also other things called death decks, which I don't have any of, but which look like so much fun, kind of like a game almost. But I brought this one just in case, and we actually never needed it. I ended up at a table with the most wonderful people. They were just wonderful. One of them is becoming a death doula, and she's also a librarian. One of them was an artist who's also a massage therapist. And another one was a healer who's also a sex therapist. And between all of us talking about death and sex and mental health and the way that their relationship with all of our relationships with family have influenced us so deeply, where death is concerned and where life is concerned and where sex is concerned. It just made for such a rich conversation. We didn't actually need to get this deck out. And at the end of the night, I was like, I didn't even get out my death doula deck. And they're like, what? What's a death doula deck? So we did pull it out just to say, like, this is what it is, and you can get it here. And they were kind of like, ooh, that's really neat. But we were so interested in talking to each other that it really was not a thing. Because we were having so much fun chatting. But, like, look at that. The images by themselves, if you really kind of meditate on them and stay in them and with them, they have a lot of richness. And when you pair them with something else, color-wise, the way they bounce is really, really pretty. It's just really, really pretty. So anyway, those are the ones I've been playing with and looking at. And God, I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's kind of it. Oh, here we go. That's kind of it. So probably oh God, look at that. There's a lot of unprocessed thinking going on here. It just is. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. But I will say that during a really very hard time in my life, these two decks, along with, here are my other loves. Oh, don't tell me they're not here. Where did they go? Oh, here's one. Oh, they're okay. Along with, okay. This is just where we are. Along with this is going to be a mess, like ungodly mess. The Tantric Dakini Oracle, and where did she go? The Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power Oracle, and the Siddhartha Tarot. So the hardest part of my year, these were my support decks. Oh, there she, okay. So I had, this one and, Tantric Dakini Oracle. I have this image as my screensaver on my phone right now. Because trauma came up as an ally in a demon feeding. And I just need to see her. Yeah. One of my favorite people. So I had this one alongside this one, right? Tantric Dakini. Yay. And Siddhartha Tarot. These three read really beautifully together. But then mixing them with this guy with the shamanic dream dust, right? Which is totally abstract and not collage and not Tibetan Thangka painting, right? And this one. And I did do readings with like, what are the 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5. I did do 5 deck readings some days, Kasha style, where you're stacking them. So I would start with the three from Shamanic Tarot, calibrate it with 3 from the Siddhartha Tarot, pull, I don't know, 1 or 2, like 1 to summarize everything from the Dakini Oracle, 1 from Death Doula Oracle, and then 1 from this one. Because there's so much stimulation going on. I gotta stop this. It's insane. And it was really deep, really, really deep. So those were kind of my best friends for the first part of the year. So finding other best friends right now is kind of I mean, I kind of have new best friends too. Like, I feel like I've moved into a different space and I've got a new set of best friend card decks that I'm playing with. And I'm more interested in that and in the kind of slightly deeper um, polyamorous relationship with a few more decks altogether than I have been in past. Like sometimes I'll just go one to the next, the next, the next, the next, and just keep moving them around. And at the moment, I'm much more like these are my little buddies, and these are my buddies in waiting, and I kind of just want to play with them. So that's kind of a nice place to be. It's not that there aren't like 100 different decks that I would love to also bring in, but I don't have the bandwidth right now because I'm too busy kind of getting to know who's here. So yeah, so there's that. Anyway, yay! All right, that's quite enough. I don't know if I'll even have time to edit this one, but if you're still here and you stuck around, good job. Thank you for that. Your support and your presence means a great deal. So, all right, friends, I will see you again in the next one. And thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.